Silence envelops the boy, amplifying the unease as he grapples with the conflict between his head and his heart. The city's vibrant energy serves as a backdrop to his internal struggle, and every gleaming skyscraper seems to reflect the choices ahead. He reaches a pivotal moment of decision, the quietness in the car heightening the gravity of his choice. Despite the yearning in his heart, he resolves to prioritize his well-being. With a heavy sigh, he dons a metaphorical mask, a facade that will shield him from the vulnerability of his emotions. The decision is made, he will focus solely on his work, sever ties with Taehyung, and make this encounter their final interaction. Jungkook is determined to follow through, even if it means suppressing the desires of his aching heart. He tells himself that this detachment will be for the best, a necessary step toward personal growth and healing. Jungkook's internal struggle remains hidden beneath the composed exterior. The mask is firmly in place, concealing the conflict that rages within, as he prepares to face the inevitable and bid farewell to the tumultuous connection with Taehyung. He gazes out of the tinted windows, watching as the city's vibrancy gives way to the opulence of the hotel district. The car moves smoothly, almost floating, as if entering a realm where time slows down, and every moment is draped in luxury. The chauffeur expertly guides the car through a grand archway, and suddenly, the opulent facade of the five-star hotel materializes before. It stands as a regal sentinel, bathed in golden light that casts a warm glow upon the surrounding landscape. The architecture is a harmonious blend of classic and modern design, with intricate detailing that speaks to a bygone era of sophistication. Jungkook steps out of the car and is greeted by the sight of valets in tailored uniforms, orchestrating a seamless ballet of luxury vehicles. The entrance is adorned with meticulously manicured gardens, where fragrant blooms dance in the gentle night breeze. The air is infused with a subtle hint of perfume, contributing to the sensory tapestry that envelops him. The towering doors of the hotel open, revealing a sumptuously decorated lobby. Crystal chandeliers hang like frozen waterfalls, casting a soft radiance over marble floors that gleam like polished mirrors. A concierge, dressed in impeccable attire, stands ready to assist guests with an air of practiced grace. Jungkook walks through the lobby, his footsteps absorbed by the plushness of the carpet beneath. The ambience is hushed, a tranquil symphony of piano music echoing through the expansive space. The walls are adorned with tasteful artwork, each piece contributing to an atmosphere of refined opulence. Mrs. Kim, eagerly awaiting his arrival, meets him in the lobby. She approaches with a forced smile, her eyes narrowing at the sight of Jungkook's laid-back attire. "Well, look who decided to grace us with his presence," the woman says, her attempt at enthusiasm tinged with irony. "I had a suit sent for you, you know. Didn't think you'd be rocking the I don't give a damn spirit tonight," she greets, though her acting is clearly strained. "What's with this look?" Jungkook, unimpressed and completely unapologetic, meets her gaze with a cocky smirk and nonchalant expression. "Oh, yeah, about that suit, not my thing. Really sorry to disappoint your high fashion standards. But I'm here only because you wanted me to talk to your husband." Remember Mrs. Kim, masking her irritation, attempts to maintain composure. "Well, yes, but still, there's a dress code for a reason," Jungkook shrugs. "Yeah, well, I don't really care about dress code." As they navigate through the lobby, Mrs. Kim can't help but let out a sigh. "Can't you take this a bit seriously? It's important," Jungkook chuckles, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "Oh, forgive me for not treating this like a royal gala. Didn't realize your little shindig was the event of the century. Mrs. Kim shoots him a disapproving glance. This is important to me, Jungkook. Just try to be civil, okay? You know, it wouldn't kill you to at least pretend to enjoy the night. People are here to celebrate, she remarks, her tone a mix of exasperation and amusement. Jungkook, maintaining his carefree demeanor, glances around. Celebrate what? Another year of pretending? No, thank you. Mrs. Kim rolls her eyes. You're impossible, Jungkook smiles coldly. I like to think of it as a charm. Keeps life interesting, you know, Mrs. Kim sighs, her frustration evident. Look, Jungkook. I know you're not thrilled to be here, but it means a lot to me that you're making an effort. Taehyung is going through a rough time, and I thought maybe you could. Jungkook cuts her off with a theatrical gasp. You mean I'm not here just for the fabulous party favors? I feel deceived. Mrs. Kim shoots him a disapproving look. This is serious, Jungkook. Jungkook, momentarily dropping his facade, sighs. I knew it is. And I'll talk to your husband, okay? No need to give me the guilt trip, Mrs. Kim, suppressing her annoyance, nods with a forced smile. Good. Just keep it civil. You know how Taehyung can be sometimes. Jungkook raises an eyebrow, feigning innocence. Oh, do enlighten me. I've never had the pleasure of engaging in a heart-to-heart with your dear man, Mrs. Kim, playing along, offers mock advice. Well, he appreciates sincerity. Just be yourself, but, you know, a version that doesn't infuriate him, Jungkook smirks. The impossible task of being the charming Jungkook without infuriating people. I'll add it to my list of life's great challenges, Mrs. Kim continues her pretend guidance. And try not to bring up anything too controversial. Keep it light. Jungkook nods exaggeratedly. Got it. Steer clear of politics, religion, and all things your man holds dear. I'm basically left with discussing the weather, Mrs. Kim chuckles, though her eyes reveal a hint of the underlying tension. Just be genuine. I know you have it in you somewhere, Jungkook smiles. Right, because sincerity is my middle name. As they reach the corridor leading to the hotel rooms, Mrs. Kim takes a moment to address the boy with a more serious tone, still pretending ignorance about the events unfolding above. Jungkook, I really appreciate you doing this. Taehyung has been distant lately, and I thought you could help him open up, she says, her eyes searching for a genuine response from him. Jungkook, ever the master of nonchalance, smirks. Yes. Because I'm known far and wide as the go-to guy for heart-to-hearts. Should I add relationship therapist to my list of talents? Mrs. Kim rolls her eyes, a mix of amusement and frustration. Just try not to make things worse, okay? Be a good friend for once. Jungkook, feigning offense, places a hand on his chest. I'm not particularly a friend to your husband. But sure, let's play therapist for the night, Mrs. Kim cites. Just go in there, talk to him, and try not to be a sarcastic kid for 10 minutes. Jungkook mockingly salutes her. 10 minutes of pure sincerity. You're asking for a miracle, but I'll do my best. As they linger near the hotel room door, Mrs. Kim forces a tight smile, attempting gratitude. Her eyes search Jungkook's face for a connection as she speaks. Listen, I suppose I should thank you for your temporary assistance. Caught off guard, Jungkook releases a dry chuckle. Temporary assistance? Oh, my special role in your life. Well, this is certainly the last favor I'm granting for your twisted version of a family. Mrs. Kim. Mrs. Kim's gratitude evaporates, and her tone sharpens with a trace of anger. Oh, darling, let's not forget your place. You're nothing more than a temporary solution, a fleeting presence in our lives. Defending himself, Jungkook musters a hint of defiance. Temporary suits me just fine. I'm not here for the long haul. Mrs. Kim's anger intensifies, and she doesn't hold back in her cruelty. You're replaceable, darling. So don't overestimate your importance, okay? Taehyung will find a new distraction faster than you can imagine. You're not as special as you think. Regaining composure, Jungkook retorts. Distraction? So you think that's all I am, huh? Well, consider this the grand finale of my role in your little drama. Then, seething with anger, Mrs. Kim fires back. You think you matter, Jungkook? You're just a little pretty toy in his life. Taehyung will move on, and you'll be forgotten like a passing shadow. Jungkook, feeling the sting of the words, tries to defend himself with growing frustration. Funny, but I think you're pushing it, Mrs. Kim. I'm not just some disposable accessory. Oh, sweetie, but you are. You're nothing but a pitiful plaything, a temporary fix for Taehyung's boredom. You're the lowest rung in this little ladder of ours. Jungkook clenches his jaw, his frustration growing. You can call me whatever you want, but I won't let you belittle me. Kneeling, Mrs. Kim delivers the final blow, hitting Jungkook where she knows it hurts the most. Darling, you're not even a toy. You're a disposable, and your expiration date is nearing. Enjoy your fleeting moment in the sun while it lasts, Jungkook. His frustration turning into a simmering anger, tries to maintain his composure. You may enjoy playing these games as long as you want, but I won't be a part of your twisted fantasies, Mrs. Kim. Mrs. Kim smirks, her tone dripping with condescension. Fantasies, darling? You've mistaken this for something more. You're just a passing fancy, a momentary amusement for Taehyung. Nothing more, nothing less, Jungkook, gritting his teeth, retorts. I won't be treated like some disposable toy. Taehyung sees me as more than that. But I guess you already know, Mrs. Kim chuckles dismissively. Jungkook, sweetie, you're deluding yourself. Taehyung doesn't see you as anything more than a distraction, a plaything to pass the time. And once the novelty wears off, so will you. Jungkook, struggling to maintain his calm, shoots back. You're underestimating what we have. There's more between us than you realize. Mrs. Kim's laughter fills the corridor. Between you and my husband? Please, darling, don't mistake a fleeting affair for something substantial. You're a mere blip, easily replaced with the next shiny object. Jungkook, his frustration boiling over, retorts sharply. You may call me whatever degrading names you want, but you won't downgrade what Taehyung and I share. Mrs. Kim leans in, her eyes cold and calculating. If you think there's something real here, you're setting yourself up for a heartbreak.